In this movie, I'd like to look at tags. Tags are an important part of any document set, and we use them for a variety of purposes to call out the various doors, the windows, wall types, and so on. The file I'm in right now is called tags, and I'm in the level 1 floor plan. And currently, there are room tags for each of the rooms in this file, and those came in as we created the rooms automatically. But for the other objects, like the doors and the windows and so on, there aren't any tags yet, and adding them is a pretty simple affair. Now, we can locate the tag button on the quick access toolbar, so it's right up here, and it's actually called tag by category. And the reason it's called that is if you move your mouse around the screen, Revit will actually change the shape of the tag that you're using, the kind of tag you're using, depending on the category of object under your cursor. So here I'm getting a diamond-shaped tag. Here I'm getting more of an oval-shaped tag. Over here I would get a hexagon tag. So you can see that each of the objects that are under my cursor, it knows what kind of tag to give me. And the way it knows that is this button right here. If we click that, you can see these are all the tags that are currently loaded in your project. So if you try and click on an object that does not have a tag, like a ceiling or a curtain panel in this case, then Revit will just simply prompt you to load an appropriate tag. I'm going to cancel out of here. And the last setting I want to look at here on this options bar is the leader option. If you were tagging your walls, you'd probably want the leader. I'm going to go ahead and click right there. Now we'll talk about why that value is empty in just a moment. If you were tagging your doors, you probably would not want the leader. So I would uncheck that, and then when I click the door, the tag would be associated directly with the door or maybe with the window and so on. So you can see that you might want that leader option to be on or off depending on the kind of tag that you're talking about. Now let me cancel out of the command for a moment. This door already knew that it was door number 3, but notice that this wall did not fill in any designation. That's simply because the designation hasn't been filled in yet for this wall. So what I'm actually going to do is go back to tag by category, turn on the leader, let me tag a couple more walls. Now, these walls are all the same type. This wall is a different type right here. And let me show you how to input that value. So I'm going to select this wall right here and choose the Edit Type command here on the Properties palette. Now, the value that that tag is looking for is this value right here, the type mark. And as you can see, it's currently empty, which explains why the tags are all empty. Now, just to kind of clarify a little bit here, tags can look at any property of the object. And you can see that we have a long list of properties to choose from. You could make a tag that showed you the cost of the wall or the fire rating of the wall or the description of the wall. In this case, this tag is looking at the type mark. And all I have to do is type in a designation here. I'll put in A1. Click OK. Not only will it fill in here, but you'll see it fill in there and there as well. This one did not fill in because this is just a different type wall. These were generic 8-inch walls. This is a generic 5-inch wall. So to get that one to fill in, I would just have to repeat the process and give it a type designation as well. And when I click OK, it would fill in. Furthermore, if I came back and added a new tag to another wall of that type, you'll see that it will have the same designation. So once you've filled in the type designation, the rest will take care of itself. Now, these tags are actually looking at the instance value of the door. So this is door number 3. This is door number 4. So the tag knows whether or not it should look at the individual value of the door or the global value of the door. Let's put another tag here, turn off the leader. Tag this door, you can see that it automatically goes to door number 4. Now, I'm stopping the command because I want to show you one other command for tagging here. You don't have to tag each of your objects individually one at a time. That can get a little tedious. We've got several doors here in this plan, and if you look at your Annotate tab, here's that Tag by Category button we were just using. Again, you can find it here as well, but right next to it is Tag All. Now, the way this command works, it's actually Tag All Not Tagged. So it's going to tag all of the elements of whatever category you select that haven't already been tagged. So in this case, these 2 doors have been tagged. I won't get duplicate tags, but all the doors here and here that haven't been tagged yet, all I have to do is click OK, and it will add a tag to all those missing doors. Tag All Not Tagged is probably the fastest way to add a bunch of tags to a floor plan. Now, I'm going to show you one last example. I'm going to go back up to my enlarged dining room plan, and maybe I want to start tagging the chairs and tables in this plan. To do that, I could use the same exact command, tag by category, and highlight one of these objects. The trouble is, when I do, it's going to say, you don't have a furniture tag loaded. So this is what I was talking about a moment ago when we clicked on the tags button and saw which tags were currently loaded in the project. So all you have to do is say yes here, and it will take you to the load command and allow you to find an appropriate tag. So there's an annotations folder right here, and then an architectural folder. And then finally, there's a furniture tag right there. So I'm going to open that up. And now when I click on the table, it will show me an appropriate tag. And as you can see, it works the same way. You can also see, however, if I cancel out of there and zoom in a little, that those tags are currently empty. Well, it's the same issue that we saw with the wall tag. If you select any one of these tables, and it doesn't matter which one I pick because they're all the same, go to Edit Type and come down here, you can fill in a type mark designation. So I'm just going to call these T1, click OK, and you see that they're now all T1. That brings up an interesting issue here. You may decide that you don't want to tag in the same way that the tag was built for. In other words, the doors were tagging individual door numbers, right? So this is door number 1, this is door number 2. The walls were saying this is a type A wall, this is a type B wall. The tables are doing the same thing. This is a type T1 table. Now, if you want to actually number the individual tables, if I select this table, scroll down, it has a mark value as well. It's currently empty, but I could fill that in. I could say this is table 1, and this is table 2, and this is table 3. The trouble is, the tag that I have is not looking at that value. So if you want that tag to look at that value, what you'd actually have to do is edit that family and modify it. Now I'm going to select this tag. I'm going to click Edit Family. That takes me into the tag itself. I'm going to select this piece of text right here, which is actually called a label. And then over here on the Properties palette, I'm going to edit it. And it's looking for the type mark, as we saw back in the project. I'm going to remove that. And in its place, I'm going to take the mark here and add that over. And that's all we have to do to basically change this tag from a type tag to an instance tag. Best practice says you ought to go to the big R here and do a Save As and give this a new name. Now, you can put it in your library folder, which is where it went to by default, but I'm going to put it in my exercise files. And I'll just call this furniture instance tag to distinguish it. Click here to load it back into my project. That takes me back to this level 1 floor plan. Let me go back to the enlarged dining room. I'm going to select with my control key each of the existing tags that I already have. Come up here to the drop down, and you'll now see that I have a furniture instance tag, and I can swap it out, and now it tells me that I have table 1, 2, and 3. So if you don't like the tag the way it was originally configured, it's real easy to change it. But really, the best thing to do is to save a copy so that you actually have both and you can switch between the two easily. Tags are a necessary part of any documentation set, and as you can see, the process of adding tags here in Revit is fairly straightforward. You can add them one at a time with the tag by category, or you can use tag all and make short work of the task by doing an entire plan in one step.